Star Citizen Alpha 3.24, otherwise known as the Cargo Patch, is now in Wave 1 PTU. So what does this mean? What have we got? What's going on? Well, the patch has been in limited testing with a small group known as the Evocati for a little while. Actually, quite a long while, about a month, going on a lot longer than I was expecting it to, that phase. The Evocati build is non-disclosure agreemented, basically in terms of visuals anyway. So you can talk about the patch, but you can't show anything. You can't show any recorded footage, not allowed to record footage in general, really. But yeah, so we couldn't use any footage of that in a video. With the opening up of Wave 1 on the PTU, that changes. There's no NDA now at all, and it's opened up to a load more testers beyond just Evocati. So Evocati, I think there's about 2,000 to 3,000 of them, but now there's any RSI subscribers, so voluntary subscribers, have access. Some of the most active players from the previous 2 patch cycles. I'm not actually sure how many players that is. I think it's another 1,000, but I could be wrong. And high-level concierge backers also have access. So if you are a Legatus Navium, you've spent at least $25,000 on the game, that's a lot of money, then you also have access as a thank you. Thank you for spending so much money on the game. I did just see one of my friends has spent over $120,000, which is a lot more. Now, that patch has a load of content, but a load of bugs still. So bear that in mind. It's still very much a testing / bug fixing exercise on the way to a live build. And those bugs and new ones might become more apparent at the larger scale of testing that's now going on. Lots of server problems sort of turn up at this stage, and more interaction problems and delays and desync and stuff like that. So immediately when players tried to play this patch last night, they couldn't get into the game because they hadn't fully switched the servers over. They hadn't finished releasing the patch, as far as I could tell. Players couldn't spawn ships, and persistent hangars weren't persisting. There's stability issues, low performance, desync, interaction delay, NPCs not spawning. Often, players couldn't even leave their hangars. However, some players having a great time, having very little problems or no problems, or very little problems with workarounds. I say no problems. I never mean no problems in Star Citizen. It is alpha for a reason. I very much encourage players to get involved with submitting bugs and adding to reports on the issue council if they do have access, and when they do get access, if they want to try out and help for the testing. But it's not for the faint of heart, these sort of tests. Open PTU and then live, much more player friendly as well, I'd say. A lot of players, even if they do have access, are going to find this too buggy and frustrating to play currently. However, next week I would expect it to be in a much better state if you don't want to wait. I'm having a pretty good time in-game at the moment. However, I have an electrical fault at my house that makes everything a bit more difficult when it comes to recording and testing. Zin is going to have to do some heavy lifting over the next few days for this patch. The testing for 3.24 Wave 1 is not on all the content that the patch has to offer. They are focused on particular parts. Some parts just haven't been tested at all yet. So currently, testing focuses on persistent, personal, and instanced hangars. Basically, you have a hangar at your home location. It's persistent, so you can leave stuff there, and between saves, between sessions, bam, you will be able to turn back up at your hangar, and whatever you've left in your hangar will be there, whether it be a ship, whether it be some trash on the floor, whether you've customized it and put loads of furniture there, because there's some furniture you can now buy and place as well as of this patch, but you can also place all of your hangar flare, all of that sort of stuff, so you can customize that as a little base. Your hangar size that you get is based on the largest flyable ship you own when the hangar is allocated to you, which leads me to believe there might be a wipe coming with 3.24. Don't 100% know. We'll have to wait and see. As I said, you can buy furniture in some of the shops. Hangars are a bit different now as well because you can spawn ships while you're in them. There's kiosks to do that. They also now have freight elevators. So these, along with storage access, are replacing the global inventory system. So you can still open your inventory and manage your sort of FPS items, but you now access stored items from the freight elevator kiosks and hangars, which then brings them up. You can put them into storage in the same way. Storage access, previously known as item banks, appear around landing zones and let you sort of quickly access FPS-sized gear and items quickly and easily, put them into storage. But this patch has the physicalization of cargo, which they're basically testing with manually loading and unloading your ships. That's now available. But you can also have items that you buy sent straight to a ship, which will auto load them at cost and time. You can do the same when you're selling an item. You can sell it straight from your ship if you want to, which has a time and cost associated with it, but you can just do that manually if you want. You can take all the stuff out of your ship and put it into storage at a landing zone and then sell it from the landing zone. And this is all managed by those freight elevators. So that's very much being tested as well. Feedback. CIG very much want that for those freight elevators for loading and unloading. There's also cargo hauling missions which make use of those new mechanics. There are varying types and scales of missions for cargo hauling and more open up to you as you get more reputation, but they allow you to haul potentially large amounts of cargo around where you don't have to invest a huge amount of money into getting that cargo, and you can do this with a group as well. They can all deliver different parts of the cargo request. Cargo not delivered will be marked as stolen, but it's basically not super valuable if it's stolen is the idea. It's not sort of like you get a criminal rating or anything like that, at least not at the scale that I've seen. There's a load of stuff that's not ready for testing yet, or at least 2 major items, I suppose I should say. That's the cargo commodity rebalance. So this is going to require a bit of thought. Missions, items, commodities all really need a bit of a rejig. We know that CIG are using an effort versus reward and EVR algorithm as part of making sure that you get the appropriate rewards for cargo hauling and potentially other missions, but this is going to change what the values of the missions you get are and how that all works. But expect testing and feedback to be more driven for that in future PTU patches and phases, not this current wave. The other thing that has yet to be released and tested is the blockade runner mission. So X station is under attack by the Ninetales pirates and they've stolen a load of cargo. You need to go to marked locations around the verse and attack and disable those ships and take back that cargo and then fight back to the station that wants you to deliver it there. So, and there's loads of enemies there, lots of Zeta pollinators required for that. Anyone can deliver it, so it's pretty open. It's a large scale mission. Again, potentially not expecting that in Wave 1 to be tested, but maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe in a couple of weeks they'll sort of be testing that, or next week maybe. There are a load of bugs to fix as well still. I said in a previous video, it's an odd one because some parts of this patch are much further along than you'd expect from like a Wave 1 PTU, but that's because it's been in Evocati for so long. They've had time to fix certain bugs that would normally take a while to fix, because they did take a while to fix, but there's other bugs that normally get discovered when they do larger scale stress testing, which is effectively what Wave 1 is. So there are still major issues with freight elevators and NPC spawning, the hangars, item banks, inventory kiosks, reputation, desync interaction, lots of stuff that you would expect from one of these early builds, but they are plowing through those fixes. There's lots and lots of minor fixes that have been done. Lots of things have been fixed in the Evocati phase that have been plaguing the game for a long time. CIG are going to be heavily focusing on stability, performance, and quality of life throughout the next few weeks before they get this patch out. And there were some really big issues as well with large inventories of items and spawning cargo in the Evocati phase. It's certainly not as bad now as it was, but it still appears to be causing issues for some players. I mean, some players are still finding this build unplayable. Other players are literally having no problems at all, or very few problems with some workarounds. There are more waves to come as they move towards sort of wave 2, 3, 4, then open PTU and live. I mean, next week you might see wave 2 and 3 go live. We don't know the sort of pace. I'm expecting live by the end of the month. Lots of people are going to be enjoying like an open PTU at the very least by then. Open PTU basically is saying anyone has access that has a Star Citizen game package. Yeah, I do think that it's a big monumental change, the cargo stuff, because it touches on a huge amount of systems. It fundamentally changes the way that cargo works in game, the way it's stored and physicalizes it. Super important for the game, obviously, but it's a fiddly one, and they had to get it 4.0 and server meshing ready. It's had a load of knock-on effects to a load of back-end systems, as sort of expected, and some stuff not so expected, but they're sorting through it. It was in Evocati for a long time. Now it's in Wave 1. Hopefully it will move a lot quicker now towards a live release. Some other stuff that we're expecting to sort of turn up in this patch at some point is a new Aegis Saber variant. That's sort of been teased for a while. I've got some spoiler videos on that if you want to learn some more. Some other stuff might turn up as well, some other ships and vehicles or variants or whatever, we don't know. There's some minor features and changes. Cloud Imperium basically run a series called Patch Watch, which will start running probably next week, and well, they'll start going, there's some other cool little hidden fixes and changes and extra little features that we've got in this patch that you might not be aware of, and some of that's pretty cool, some of it can be pretty big. Like, I think the soft death system, for example, was something that was shown off in a patch watch, just saying, look, the ships, now when you blow them up, they're not entirely destroyed and you survive on them until they get blown up again. CIG are also testing this new network message queue thing on the tech preview build. I was expecting it for 4.0, but it is being tested in a 3.24 build. It's something that might turn up in 3.24 because it would be great for it too, because it will fix a lot of issues with servers and the network message spam and like the desync and the interaction issues that the game is having at the moment. Maybe that will turn up for this patch. 3.24, that cargo patch, it's got some awesome stuff in it. It's not ready for live yet, but players brave enough to test it, if they have access now, will be assisting in its development. When you get access, probably is worth to have a look. Some builds are going to be better than others. Sometimes it's going to be incredibly unstable. Sometimes it's going to be incredibly unstable for some people and fine for others. And that's a bit unfair, but it's a mixed bag. We're all working towards a Star Citizen 1.0, and hopefully that will be an amazing game. One day. But tell me what you think. Are you excited for Alpha 3.24? Are you playing in the first wave PTU? What do you think of that? Are you excited? What do you want us to be looking at feature-wise over the weekend? Hopefully we'll have some time to check out some of these features and see if they're stable enough for actually us to talk about those gameplay loops in a bit deeper detail. More likely, it'll be next week when we go and analyze some of these features. Tell us what you want to see. Really interested to know. Please don't forget about Tobii Eye Tracker being on sale until the 5th of August. If you want some natively supported head and eye tracking, very high precision in Star Citizen, then check that out. You stand at the pearly gates. The winged being there weighs your sins against the weight of a feather. You are found wanting. Not a problem for nordvpn.com/BoredGamer though. Just change your location. Boom! You're in. Bypass your sin. Get nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Probably not a tagline that Nord wants, bypass your sin, but that's what they're getting. Maybe they want one about its added security, privacy, or accessibility. Pah, everyone knows that. You get that at a touch of a button. Click these links below to get great deals on that VPN service. Every month we give away a ship, and this month of August is all about your favourite ships, because it's the ship showdown. My favourite ship is the Mercury Star Runner, and I don't want to give one of those away, but I will. It's a fantastic little multi-role, multi-crew ship. It's got a bit of cargo space, it's got room for a little vehicle, it's got a good amount of firepower, perfect little mission runner. In the future it's going to have data running, it's good for smuggling, it's got lots of secret little hidey holes. I absolutely love this ship. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during August. Also, I would love to know what your favourite ship is. If you would like to further support the channel, consider just commenting or liking, subscribing. That all helps. But also there's the join button under my videos. That goes a huge way to allow us to make daily content on Star Citizen. There's also Patreon, sharing the videos, direct donations. There's links to all of that down below. Thank you so much for watching to the end. You take care and have a great day.